name is Amaris Gonzalez, and I'm the Program Officer for Youth and Families.
My name is Ariel. I'm an alumni of YCI, and I'm a current student at Quincy Community College.
So tell me about what YCI is and what you guys do.
So YCI is a youth-led program where high school students identify issues that they care about, and then they award grants to nonprofit organizations working to solve those issues. And so the program was founded in 1998 and has been running since. We've graduated 225 students thus far and have made more than $350,000 in grants. YCI, or the foundation, believes that youth have a powerful collective voice in decisions that impact them, and granting and philanthropy is a tool to do so. And so we invest and grow the program because we believe that it's a powerful experience for them as our future civic leaders and philanthropists.
Yeah, and as a participant, I've learned a lot about leadership, ways to encourage youth voice, and I've also created a great network of different young people who have similar interests in civic engagement and different aspects of community organization, which has helped me branch out in different aspects of my life. So I think YCI really gave me the language and also the experience to advocate for different programs and learn about the whole process of granting money to different organizations.
Okay, how many youth leaders are there? And how are they chosen to be part of YCI, and what qualifications do they need?
Yep. So this year's cohort is about 30 youth leaders. Typically the cohort is about 15 to 17, but it's doubled in size. And we accept students from freshman to senior year. And typically we do have more sophomores and juniors, and participants can be a part of the program for up to 2 years. All that we require is that students have an interest in philanthropy, civic engagement, and are willing to commit the time to learning about their community and consensus building and granting and how that impacts their community.
Yeah, and during my time at YCI, our cohort was a little bit smaller than the one this year, but I was able to do similar things, as Amara said, and also learn a lot about my community and the city of Worcester and meet a lot of great people. So I've always had an interest in, community foundations like that. I've had experience in past programs with funding different programs, so this was an amazing way to kind of further develop that interest. And it was really interesting because that same program that I did in the past kind of introduced me to YCI and the Greater Worcester Community Fund. So without that prior experience, I wouldn't have been able to, or I wouldn't have found out about YCI in general. But I feel that the ways in which the Greater Worcester Community Fund find and accept applicants is very, I think they do a good job at creating a diverse cohort of people with different interests and from different parts of Central Mass. So it's not just, people or youth from Worcester, but a wide range of different students and from different backgrounds and creeds and things like that.
Okay, so what are some organizations that have been donated to because of YCI?
Sure. So ACE, African Community Education, we've provided a grant for their ACE Ambassador program, which is a youth-led council that informs their programming. The SHINE Initiative, which incorporates a lot of youth voice and mental health tools and resources. And then the Nativity School of Worcester for DEI practices, and then the arts. And I believe your cohort supported their arts programming.
Yeah, so during my cohort, we had an emphasis on funding the arts, specifically regarding youth arts. So at the time, Nativity was doing their winter arts night. So it kind of aligned with our RFP, so request for funding, and the values that we were aligned with for that cohort. So I think, and I was actually a participant of, or I was a student at Nativity in the past, so it was great to hear that my peers saw the value in something I did before in the past and granted money to that organization and to specifically that program within the school.
That's really cool. So what types of community leaders do students meet with?
Sure. Students meet with a range of community leaders, and so some of the leadership that's represented here at the Greater Worcester Community Foundation comes and they speak on panels. They discuss their pathways to philanthropy and how they are embedded in the community, and students get to ask questions about how they can do the same through their grant cycle that they're running for YCI. We also have former grantees come in and talk about their experience as a grantee from YCI and the impact that it's made. And then we also run trainings from community leaders on bias and consensus building for our cohort.
One person I can recall from my cohort who came in, which was during that same year that we were focusing on arts funding, was Shay Anderson. So at the time he worked for the Worcester government, city government, and he was working on a beautification project that involved murals around the city and things like that. So I think for me and for a lot of the participants, it was really impactful to hear leaders in our community, specifically leaders of color in our community. And it that spotlight helped us learn more about our community again, and also give us more, training on what we're doing, because obviously a lot of us were very inexperienced in community grant making, and I think people like that showed us ways in which our bias and how creating consensus is very important in that entire process.
Yeah, is there any conflict of interest with students about where they want to move with their project?
Sure. This year's cohort, they've been pretty aligned in terms of what their values and mission is for their RFP, and so there's not been a ton of debate, but I've heard in years past that there have been times where there's some debate about how they can allocate money and the amount of money they want to provide for different organizations, because there's only so much to go around. And I think Ariel can speak a little bit more to that.
Yeah, during my time at YCI, we were also pretty aligned, but I think the only conflicts that occurred were when one of our members were a part of one of the programs we were looking at. So for example, I was a student at the Nativity School of Worcester, so I wasn't a part of that conversation, but I was able to give important context and tell them about my experience with the program. But regarding, those decisions regarding those programs that the youth leaders are a part of, YCI tries to, make sure that their bias and their involvement within the program doesn't overshine other people's opinions.
Okay.
Yeah, so if youth are interested in applying for the YCI program, the application is on our website and they can apply there, and that will open up in the spring, where we will begin the review process and conduct interviews. We hope that you are interested, and we have a YCI Instagram page and soon a TikTok where youth can also follow what's happening with our current cohort. So we hope that you guys tune in.
Yeah, and to any parents or youth interested, I think this is a great opportunity for you or your kids to be involved within their community and to have a voice within these really important organizations in our community. So I would definitely advise you to learn more and even apply for the next cohort.
Okay, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.